All right, boys. Z-Clay, hit him with it.
We are back. Episode 85.
Oh, what was that?
Ooh, you know I got some music for it. There it is. He said episode 85. The boys are vibing. We got a guest for you tonight. We've seen him. I saw him on ESPN several years ago. Popped up on a TikTok. We got him on, so I hope you enjoy that. But first, as always, I'm Casey. That's Zach. And that's Brady. And we're here for the BSG podcast, presented by our friends over at
Guys,
Moon
if you
Golf.
haven't heard about Moon Golf already, I don't know where you've been hiding under a rock at. Honestly, we talk about it every episode at this point. They are our main sponsor, and they're literally why we're here doing this podcast right now. So they have 3 locations in the Southeast, one here nearby in Auburn, 2 others in Florida. So if you live in Florida, go check them out. If you live anywhere in the East Alabama, West Georgia area, come down to Auburn, check out their location, see all the goodies that they have. They have all of the new equipment for 2024 in store for you to try out, to get fitted. And I mean, literally endless selection of clubs and gear. That's why we love them.
You know,
I'm
I walked
headed
out
there
of
next week for some fitting.
I
the
saw
SM10s.
SM10s are out. I got the email from Voki today, so I'm booking my trip.
Walked out of Target the other weekend, and I looked down at Dick's, and I was like, I don't remember the last time I stepped foot in Dick's Sporting Goods, because I don't have to anymore, because Moon Golf has a
Thankfully.
way better selection. Thankfully, yeah. I'm so tired of used to going in there and like trying to see a club, and you got people back there just goofing off, and nobody's caring. I'm like, bro, I'm glad I'm at Moon Golf. So shout out to Ann and Dan Moon over at Moon Golf. This episode, Frank Windham Jr., the man, Z-Rock, did it again, booked us another guest. We got him coming on right now. So you're from Alabama, or you're saying you went to Birmingham for a little while, or what?
So I'm originally from South Florida, but I grew up 16, 17 years of my life in South Georgia, which is where I currently live now.
Okay.
And I played college golf at a school in Middle Georgia, and then I transferred from that school to a D2 school in Birmingham. And I actually finished my college career last spring in Birmingham.
Did you go to Southern?
No, I played at an HBCU called Miles College, but we did practice.
Miles, okay.
I
started school at UAB. I just finished at Alabama, so I'm familiar with all of Birmingham.
Zach was in school for about 8 years, it feels like.
No, there wasn't a feels like it was.
He got married. You went to UAB for a little bit, right?
What?
You went to UAB first, right, and then transferred over to Alabama?
Yeah, I started at UAB, and then once Joni and I got engaged, I moved back home, and I was like, well, if I got to finish school online, I said, let it be Crimson.
Yeah, I that have done that. They've started at UAB and finished their education at UA. So I got a couple buddies that have done that. And I just love the way that UAB's campus intertwines with the city. And
same.
Love that.
So I have 2 boys, and we went to go see Dude Perfect in Birmingham, and we went over to the UAB campus and rode around, and it was so nice. And then that same weekend we had to go to Tuscaloosa for a baseball tournament, and like the university at Tuscaloosa in Alabama is nice, but around it is it's not as good as UAB.
Outside of the campus, there's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, nothing. No.
I don't know. Statesboro, Georgia, where Georgia Southern is. It's a lot like that. Just a college town, and the university is what draws the kids there. That's. Oh man,
that's the only thing about Alabama. Like, we would never, if we were going to move, Birmingham's an option. Tuscaloosa isn't, just because there's nothing in the city. Mm-hmm. We love Birmingham with all the coffee and like the walkability of Homewood and stuff. But once you get to Tuscaloosa, like, you have downtown to the school, and then that's it.
I love Mountain Brook. I I worked at club in the country club of Birmingham for a while, and I really loved. I think that Birmingham has an underrated golf scene. You got Shoal Creek there, Country Club Birmingham, Mountain Brook Country Club, and you got the RTJs. I was to practice the school that I was at. We utilized the RTJ practice facilities, and that was an amazing experience.
We have so Moon Golf, our sponsor for the podcast. She played at Auburn, but she's from Birmingham, so we're setting up a match against her because we're not all very good. So we're going to scramble against her. But she's wanting to get us. I think is it the Country Club of Birmingham? She's a member somewhere up there. Is that right, Zach? And she's wanting to get us
somewhere like that. I'm sure she could pick any of them.
We were going to do it down here in Auburn, but she's like, no, we got to go to Birmingham and get on a super nice course.
And if it's going to be the Country Club Birmingham, ask her if it's the East or West course, because the West course, man, top 5 hardest golf course I've ever played. I mean, they could hold a U.S. Open there, and they got several par 4s on the front that are 480 if you play it tipped out. Very difficult golf course. The East is shorter but old school tight. It's great layout, though. I enjoyed playing those courses.
And just so we introduce right, it's Windham. Is that the correct last name?
Windham. You're the first person to get it right.
We try over here. Brady should be hopping on in a minute, but we'll probably use all this in the pod because it's interesting. But we'll jump into it if you're good with it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
We're just gonna keep kind of talking like we were, but I'll just introduce. We have Fred Windham Jr. on the pod tonight. I'll also kind of set up real quick. Interesting. I remember several months, maybe sometime early last year. I don't know when the clip happened, but seeing you on ESPN or their Instagram, because they share everything. And I was like, look at this dude. Look at these divot lines. And I remember seeing it and it going viral on like pages, and then nothing happened. And then recently you commented on one of our things, and I went to your page. I sent it to them. I said, yo, I saw this dude on ESPN not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
And so then Zach followed up with that message and need you on the pod. So
I'm the reach out guy. I'm going to reach out to anyone possible because everybody's trying to grow. So
Well,
so I guess go ahead.
Say thank you guys for. I'm very grateful for you guys to send me the invitation. I want to be on your podcast, and I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
My first question is, did you think that post would go? Were you really out there that long, grinding that hard? First question, I guess I'll go back to that.
I was still, that was the season before my last season. What you saw there, how do I start this? I didn't think it would, to answer your question, I didn't think it would blow up because I've been doing that for years. I've been doing that since I was young, and I started. That wasn't anything new. So for me, my buddy, good friend of mine, Britton, he was now my ex-teammate. He's like, man, we should pull the phone out and video this. And at that time, it's the first time in my life I was growing my hair out. And that summer, I'm a big 80s hair metal, glam metal guy. So I was influenced greatly by Bon Jovi and guys like that. So I was like, I just put a band on to stop the sweat because I would hit balls till I'd be pouring sweat. And I still do to this day. And so I had the headband on. And he's like, dude, you got a killer look right now. And I'm like, really? And so he pulls the phone out and he starts recording it. And I didn't think any of it. I had just downloaded TikTok. I was trying when that was, I remember I was going into Walmart and I was on the phone with my old friends, and I would refresh the page. It'd go up 20,000 views. I'm like, Jesus Lord.
Jeez.
And things kind of kicked off for me. The next thing I know, Body Armor's commenting on stuff. I don't even have Twitter. That video got over 1 million views on Twitter. Trackman, Top Tracer, a bunch of these accounts started picking up the video, and they would send me like ESPN hit me up and asked me if it was my content. And that was just so weird those couple days. And then I've had many of them blow up since. But it's just, I don't know. I guess it's people don't see that very often, and
the grind.
But that's what I'm heavily influenced by Mo Norman and Ben Hogan and Lee Trevino, and for them it was just you get it out of the dirt, and that's something that I'm trying to spread through the game of golf, and along with a big theory that I have on the game, and it's like they're not used to seeing a young man do that, I guess, and so for me it's like to me I hit as many balls as I can with hard focus, and that's what's helped me become really good. And it just so happened that those guys used to do that, and now that you don't see that anymore.
Favorite comment on there was somebody said, "Buddy's been on the range since Nam."
Oh yeah,
because you just been out there working it out. That was my favorite comment on that video.
Oh God, yes, God, people are still commenting, but there's so many that I just lose track. Like, I'd have to see it in my inbox and click on it to even find it. So it's.
So do you tell your coach from that point forward you have to wear the headband every time you golf now?
Oh my God, my head coach, I love him, Leonard Smoot. He been in the military. He was a Marine for I think 23 years. So when he saw me come in with this long hair, looking like I'm from Bon Jovi or Van Halen, and he was like, "Nah, man," and I'm like, "That's just me, That's who I am."
And shout out to Brian Bros. They commented on too. This was all the way back in 2022.
Oh,
I saw the Brian Bros. We've got a little bit of a relationship with them. We went and played in their tournament and got to meet them and whatnot. So, we're not close, but they're cool guys. And for them to anytime they recognize anything you do, I'm like, oh, this is neat.
Right. Yeah. And when I saw that, I kind of freaked out because I remember Wesley Bryan when I was starting out in golf. He and his brother, they grinded out, man. And I think his brother, he just went through Q school. I don't know if he made it through or not, but good guys. I've never met them in person, but they seem like genuine people, and I can get
down. Did anything change for you after that clip, or did it kind of go back to normal, or what?
No, it's for me, it's a lot of. I guess I don't know if this is the typical way TikTok does things, but a lot of clothing brands started reaching out to me. A lot of other companies started reaching out to me. And when I would go through the city of Birmingham, I would be with my team qualifying, or I'd be on a range, and people would then start coming up to me and asking me if this is real. And there have been many people who didn't believe that I was out there, that those are my divot lines. And then they would sit and watch me hit balls and find out that I was really doing that. And everywhere that I've moved, I do the same. It's just who I am. And I'll post a video and it'll blow up. And then, other people from that golf course will see it. And they'll be like, "Oh man, I saw you on ESPN, or I saw you on Top Tracer, or I saw you on this." And then it just, so yeah, it's changed quite a bit for me in some ways.
Are you still golfing now a lot, or?
God's blessed me. I am trying to, I want to play one more year amateur golf before I turn pro in 2025. And finish, I've got my golf swing about where I believe it needs to be to compete at the professional level. And it's just at this point now I need to be playing. And I think it was Nick Dunlap that was saying the higher amateur events have really prepared him for the stage on the PGA Tour and things of that nature. And obviously, thank God he won yesterday. But it's that same kind of thing. You get into the fire and upper tier amateur events, you learn. And, I have a background in psychology. I studied psychology in college. So I understand the way that the mind works in a lot of ways. And I understand how that operates within myself. So it's like I want to take a year and just play solid upper amateur golf and then turn pro next year. And
Brady's playing some amateur tournaments this year, Brady, aren't you?
We got them on the calendar. Hey, Fred, I'm sorry for jumping in late, but
what's your schedule?
I wanted to ask what was maybe like one of your favorite moments in college golf. I think were you in there a couple years, 2 or 3 years playing college golf? Is that right?
if you were on, I think you hopped on after I had said this, but I
Okay.
played 2 years at a school in Middle Georgia and then transferred to Miles College where I finished my last. I was a sophomore when COVID hit, so I got awarded an extra year eligibility, so I played for 5 years. And your
Yeah,
question
like,
was,
did
what
you
was my
have any
favorite
like
moment?
really things that like stood out to you? Did you have kind of like a special place that you played golf at while you were there, like a really low score that you had?
I still have my team's low round of 64 at Roebuck Municipal Golf Course in Birmingham. Yeah, a par 71. I shot 64 there, or 63, one of the two. I think it was 64. And it was that moment because there were so many. I wouldn't say there were a lot of people in the area that, and I had always told growing up, quality over quantity. Well, when I was younger and I kept hearing that, they're like, man, you beat balls, too many golf balls on the range. And I was like, hold on. You have these two sides that are butting heads. But what would happen if I took quality and quantity and combined it together? Well, then that's when you get years, like you start getting better way quicker, and you start picking up months and years on other players when you combine the high quality and the high quantity together. So that's what I always, in my background in psychology and my study of the mind, allowed me to be able to bring that high quality in, because it's easy to bring high quantity, but have high quality. And at that time, it had proved what I was saying was true, that if you hit lots of golf balls and you move dirt and you just practice your tail off, that you can get these scores, and that you don't need to see a high swing coach, a high dollar swing coach. You don't have to have TrackMan. You can take the old school route. And my teammates will say, "Man, we got close to your record the other day and we didn't get there." And I was like, "Oh, I hate it for you, brother. I wasn't gonna let off the gas."
What's your swing thought with your paws at the top? Is it just something you started doing, or have you always done that?
So when I started playing golf, Hideki Matsuyama, I want to say, you would have to double check me on this, but I started playing golf in 2014. I think about that year he won the Memorial for the first time, and I remember seeing this guy. I'm a guy that goes against the grain. I don't want to be like anybody else, but I saw this really cool Japanese guy hitting golf balls, and he would get to the top and literally stop and then come back down. And it clicked in my mind because I was talking about this with somebody the other day, but I always view the golf swing in two pieces, not one motion, but a two-piece golf swing, that you get it to the top, that's your first piece, and you set your position, and then the second piece is down. And it just influenced me. And when I started doing that at a young age, I started getting better than a lot of people in high school really quick, because I started later. And I picked up ground on a lot of people doing that. So it's just something that I learned from Hideki at a very young age. And it's worked for me in high school golf, college golf, and now amateur golf. But you don't see it very often. But you look at guys like Cameron Young, right? I mean, look at that guy.
Yeah.
If you go look at right. If you go look at some of my videos, you will see some comments in there where they're like, "Oh, well, you're losing power." Well, Cameron Young shuts that whole theory down. I mean, you look at his ball speed, I think it's 81, 82, consistently pausing at the top. So there's no loss of power here. It's just about ball striking.
What was the theory you mentioned to me you wanted to discuss?
Well, I call it the grain of regulation theory. It's
I saw this in your TikTok bio.
I've been on a couple podcasts talking about this. One of the biggest blessings God has blessed me with was that when I was growing up, it used to be taught, and it still is to this day, short game, short game, short game. And when I was in, they used to preach, just shoot 75. If you shoot 75, we're good. Just stay right there at 2-3 over par. And I'm thinking, I got dreams of winning majors. 3 over par isn't going to cut it. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. And then one day it dawned on me. It was like, well, ball striking leads to more greens. And when you hit more greens, you make more birdies. It doesn't matter about short game. See, I would see coaches tell kids, you're going to hit a bad shot before you even tee it up. Like you're going to hit bad shots. That's a load of bull. It's about how much work you put in. If you practice enough, you can hit perfect shots over and over and over again. And the game's taught from the aspect of missing the golf ball. It's the complete opposite. It's about see to a spot, hit to a spot. Mo Norman talked about hit to a defined target area. And that defined target area can be 30 feet or it can be 2 feet. But I always looked at it like, how do I eliminate the misses? So I was like, okay, when I hit a bad shot, what did that source from? That sourced from a miss hit. So if I go to the range and I really practice and grind on my ball striking, I'm going to hit more greens. It's easy to hit. It's easy to make par if you're hitting a green in regulation because all you have to do is two putt, and it's about maximizing your opportunities. So I went back and I did the statistics, and it's if we were to look at the negative first of this, if I hit a green in regulation, I don't make birdie, I have an easy par. If I make birdie and the other guy misses the green, what's he limited to? He's limited to making par. Because if I was to look at all three of you and say, okay, let's toss out 2 balls. I'm going to have you putt one, and I'm going to have you chip one. You're going to make more birdies putting the ball than you are chipping it. So when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, junior golfers are being taught this and college players are being taught to just miss the golf ball in the right spot, which is not how you play. It's about ball striking and scoring. That's my mind goes to Mo Norman, Ben Hogan, Lee Trevino, Tiger Woods, all these guys hit hundreds of balls a day and were all-time ball strikers. They didn't miss very many greens, and they won major championships. And it's the green and regulation theory. It's just about you hit as many greens as possible, and that maximizes your chances at scoring. And it's the best bogey prevention as well. I've been criticized on this topic by many college players, many college coaches, but the stats back me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real, man. It's a real
you
thing.
You don't know me, son?
Huh?
Hit him with that David Goggins next time they doubt you. Just say, you don't know me, son.
Dude, David Goggins, one of my inspiration. I just did a video where I was lifting weights in the cold, and I'm like, I listen to Goggins. I wake up, I work out every morning and at night. I work out twice a day. It's like Goggins is in my mind.
He's like laps in your head.
There.
So, do you have like how many tournaments are you gonna try to play this year a month for the amateur stuff?
It depends. Some of these tournaments are spread out, but if I had it my way, I'd do 2 a month. Sometimes I think this month I've got one coming up in a week, and it'd be the only one I play in January. And next month I think there's 2, and then there'll be, I think the next month after that I'll have a break, and then I'll have 2 the next month, and then I lay out my schedule, my tournament schedule 6 months in advance. I don't try to go for the full year thing. Things are subject to change, so if I try to plan half my year out with tournaments.
Are you going to try to focus more on that professional side, or are you going to try to do more like Brian Bros, capture the influencing side of it while you're also chasing the dream, or are you just going to kind of just head down, chase the dream?
For me, the biggest thing I'm transitioning to on my TikTok now is, and I'm wanting to move more into that, is showing people the inside. Obviously, show them more of the data of the green and regulation theory, because I want to change the game of golf. I want to reset it and go back down to the foundation and rebuild it back up with this. So showing them more data, getting it out there to as many people as I can. And then I do want to show people the inside practice, like how to get better, because a lot of people look at me and say, well, Fred, I hear you hit this many balls a day. I get that. but what do I need to practice on? And so I want to show people the inside, like wedges, for scoring. When you get inside of 100 yards, it's got to be automatic. It can't be 25 feet. You got to be inside 10 feet and then eventually get to inside 5. And sharpen your iron play to where you don't miss greens. And then sharpen your
Man, well, y'all about to start seeing me in all our videos. Have me the night about a 5-second pause at the top of my swing. I'm just gonna get up there and pretend I'm back at baseball. Hit the Gary Sheffield a couple times, and then come back down.
We'll start.
And then be like swing.
If you take that long.
Yeah. I get it. A lot of people are like, man, I don't know how you do it, but I'm like, it just comes natural to me. And I've grinded on that too. Like, I'm not a very naturally gifted player. So what you've seen on my TikTok, the swings on social media, I've grinded my tail off, man, for years. When I started in college, I went from the number 1 player on my high school team to 4th or 5th man on the first team that I went to. And then when I transferred from the NAIA to the NCAA, I went from being the number 1 and number 2 guy at my previous college to I went down to the 6th man, and I had to fight for a 5th spot, which is not the starting 4. You take 5, start 4. So I started from the bottom in every level, and I would get there and I would see, okay, well, here's this guy. Okay, he's ranked in the World Amateur Golf rankings here. That means nothing to me. Let's see what he's doing. And I obviously knew that what I would do over time would catch up and then go past. So I knew that moving dirt was the key, and it's always been the key. And I just did that, and it got me into where I was a starter in every tournament. And I would see guys come and go in qualifiers. My coach in Birmingham, Coach Smoot, knew how to simulate tournament conditions and the layout on certain days. He would look at the weather, and he would just have a way of simulating those tournament conditions and qualifiers. And I'd see guys, fail and not play well because of that, because they're not prepared.
Well, it was super cool. It was one of the cool moments where when you commented, I was like, dude, I've seen this man before out here grinding on the range. So it's really neat to have you on the pod with us.
Yeah, I just
wanted to say, did y'all have any follow-up questions? We'll have to have you on for I was going to say, I want to do a longer pod in the future, specifically on the green reg theory, and give us some time to prepare some thoughts and stuff.
I totally
and spend more
respect
time
all
with that too.
For sure.
Right.
I'm on board with it. Like, I respect the whole green and regs theory, and I wanted to say like that all of it makes sense. And coming from someone who hasn't played like high school golf, college golf, or anything like that, like I see where you're coming from, where everybody in that level is just focusing on like short game, and it kind of gets overlooked.
Right. So let me ask you through this. What all three of you? What are your handicaps?
I'm 17.
I'm sitting around at 9 right
15 point something.
Okay, so let me ask you three this question. What's the difference between a double and a triple? I mean, really, if we stop and we think about this, because I hear people talk about, well, you got to work on short game and you got to work on putting. That's great. But if you get it up and down for a triple or a double, that's going to take you 2 to 3 holes, 2 to 3 birdies just to make up what you did on one hole. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you want to know why people aren't very interested? A lot of people, when they get out there and they don't hit it well, and they're making quads and they're losing 20 golf balls around because they're not starting at the right. This idea of starting with short game is wrong. Yeah. They got to get their ball striking down, and there's no real difference between a double and a triple and a quad. There's massive scores that are going to lead you to ultimately hating the game. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, yeah, been there.
Hate the game current. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I love it. Our thing is, I'm a dad of 3 and married, and it's hard. I wish I can get to the range and move dirt like you, but it's just tough to get out there.
Yeah, I get that.
But that's the goal. I know if I want to get better, that's what I gotta do. It's just when I have time to golf, it's like, boys, let's go play 18. Let's don't go stand on the range and chit chat with each other.
No, I get that, and you gotta have that time spent.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy what I do. There's not a lot of people wired to get anything out of the 40th or 50th 5-iron or 6-iron. There's not a lot of people that are wired that way. I enjoy it. And,
my goal is to not hit a single 5-iron at all my whole round. I don't want to touch that club.
Yeah, that's my most accurate iron in the bag.
Yeah,
we're just different, Fred. Well, yeah, we appreciate you coming on. And like I said, we'll get you back on in the future and just have a whole episode where we dive into that. And because I agree, I think it's a great concept, and we can kind of focus the whole pod on that, so you can spend more time getting it. If we could help any way, get it out and try to get more ears to it. We appreciate you, man. Everybody, Fred Windham Jr. We'll have all his stuff linked below. Y'all can go check him out. Go follow him on TikTok, and we'll be rooting for you this year, in the amateur year, and then especially next year when you chase the dream even further. Yeah, shout out Fred. Thanks for coming on. We'll have him on again to talk about the green regulation theory. We can all kind of share our thoughts on that. But dude,
it makes sense.
Y'all need to go search for him on TikTok. If you're listening or watching, watch that video. It's the second one. It's pinned on his TikTok. But more importantly, read the comments. The comments have me laughing hard every time I read them. So
I think he
go
needs
check
to,
him out. This is the part of the show now where it's time.
I was gonna say, I think he needs to send a DM to the infamous team Range Goats on the Live Tour, because they would fit perfectly. I think that'd be a perfect fit.
Oh, that would be good. That would. I don't know. Fred seemed more like a PGA Tour kind of guy, not a Live Golf guy.
Hey, that's what I've always said. If we get certain calls, I mean, I can't make no promises one way or the other.
We'll go wherever they want the boys to go. You know, it's all about being one tour anyway, so it don't matter. Here's soon. Time to lock it in for our picks this week with the PGA and LPGA, presented by our friends over at Swanee's Golf. Use BSG25 for 25% off. I saw where they've been boosting a lot about their women's line. I was like, Katie, I'm gonna have to get you some Swanee's golf gear. They've been putting it on their Instagram story a lot. So BSG25 for 25% off. Get your lady something for Valentine's Day. Go grab her some Swanee's. We're going to recap the American Express Wild Week in the PGA. If you don't know by now, Nick Dunlap won that thing.
What did you say? Roll Tide?
I did not come out of my mouth.
Oh, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
The U.S. amateur winner.
Stats right here. PGA Tour just posted this on the Instagram. At 12 years old, he shot 11 under, which was a 59 in his at that course that he played at to win a junior event by 13 strokes. He became the first player from Alabama to win the U.S. Junior Amateur Championship in 2021. He won his first collegiate title as a freshman in 2023, and joins Tiger Woods as the only player to win both the U.S. Junior Amateur and U.S. Amateur on August 20th, 2023. And then obviously his what he did this weekend is pretty doggone impressive.
Did y'all hear the interview with his dad? They were talking to his dad and mom. Well, no, this was before. This was when I was like hole 15. They're like, we feel like he's got it in him to make a run. We just got to watch. And they were like, when did you think he had it? His dad said, well, at 12 years old, he shot a 59. I said, a 59? God.
The question is, does he finish these last 2 years of school at Alabama, or is he gone?
I don't know. I don't understand that part or the reasoning to finish if you're that good.
Yeah,
unless he wants the NCAA title. I mean, because you can play. I mean, he can play all these tournaments.
The only thing he's got left to get is like the team title.
I would assume he's gonna go pro.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's only been, I guess, about 10 years now since they won the national championship as a team. So
I want to say it was not recently, in the last couple of years or so, there was somebody, I think he may be with Oklahoma State, I don't remember, finished like really well. He didn't win, but really well in a PGA Tour event. Oh, no, it was old buddy with Augusta. Didn't he go pro right after Augusta? He went back and played in a college event, and then didn't he go pro right after that?
Sam Bennett.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
No, he's still at A&M.
Oh, never mind.
I think he's still playing for A&M right now.
I would be like, all right, love y'all teammates, but I'm hitting the ball too good right now not to be making $1.25 million. Gotta get out here. And, any brand he wants, pretty much club brand, he's probably already got one from college, but it's going to be like, hey, let's just go pro. We got you.
Yeah. I mean, Dunlap's sponsored by TaylorMade and Adidas already, so I mean, I'm sure they're 10-year deals at least.
So even with being an amateur and him winning, is he doesn't have to go through the Q school route now, right? If he goes pro,
no, he won his card.
Yeah, he's got exemptions too now.
He got his card for winning.
Well, yeah, there's no reason to go back because that card's only going to last so long until you got to earn it again. So you need to go get that money, my guy.
I think when you're that good, that young, I mean, I don't think he's worried about it. He'll have tons of opportunity.
Yeah, and he's not worried about battling through Q school and sleeping in his car and whatnot. And so with that, our picks of the week, Xander, I had Xander Schauffele tied for third. Thank goodness. Zach had Minwoo Lee tied for 21st. Mitchell had Scotty Scheffler, and then Brady his guy shoots 11 under and gets cut.
Which leads, as of now, there's a new leader in the clubhouse on the pick'ems.
And I'm finally cracked. I'm in the 3-digit numbers we all now. I was at 85 under, and everybody else was like 100 and something, 200 something.
Yeah, so I had to update the formula today, Brady. You had it all set to off of yours.
I was like, I'll just change it when there's a new leader. More.
Yeah. So as of now, and with LPGA, I guess it's not on here, but I picked Lydia Ko.
He got the dub.
First place.
Yep.
Nelly Korda.
Brady picked Lilia Vu. Finished 18th, 1 under. Casey picked Nelly Korda, tied 16th, 2 under. And Mitch picked Brooke Henderson, 3 over.
Yeah.
No, 10 under. Finished third, 10 over. Like 10 under. And so now I'm in the lead at 225 under par. Brady second place, 221, so 4 back. Mitch 167 under par, 58 back. And Casey pulling up the rear with a lot to work, 110 under par, so 115 from first place.
I'm not chasing that 115. I'm chasing that 57 in front of me. I only need 57 more strokes to chase that man down. So if you're new here, what we do is we take our picks from the PGA and the LPGA for the week, whatever they shot under par. That goes towards our total for the whole season. At the end of the season, whoever's in last place has a punishment. So we're not picking just to kind of guess. These picks matter to us. So with that, we're going to tell you our picks this week for the Farmers Insurance at Torrey Pines. This is always an interesting tournament because they play they're going back and forth on these courses. So it's fun to watch and kind of see what people got going on. Last year, Max Homa was the winner. This year, Max hasn't. I don't think he's been too hot this year. So none of us have picked him to go back to back. But I'll start with my pick. I've got Colin Morikawa.
Did I not text my picks?
You did not.
You did.
Oh, you did. You said Hideki.
Yeah, I don't think I'd put him in yet though.
Hideki, and then
so Zach's got Hideki. Mitchell, he texted in and said Xander Schauffele. Good, that's what I had last week. Good pick. And then Brady.
Pat.
Who you got?
He played pretty good. At the Amex, and I think when he's playing good, he might be hard to beat. So I think he's got a good chance.
I wonder if when people are paired with him, he's like, oh, Gosh, I'm playing with Patrick Cantlay.
I wouldn't want to be playing with him, but I'm gonna pick him.
Y'all remember
now?
Y'all remember Matt Fitzpatrick commented on our Instagram post? How wild that was.
And then we mentioned him, and he just hadn't said anything.
How wild. He was like, bro, it's hard for me to win. I'm not playing this
That's
week.
when we were like, we got to get better at this.
Yeah. So there's our picks for the PGA. Let us know who you got. Going to the LPGA now. They're in Orlando, Florida.
No,
the Hilton Grand.
That was this past weekend.
Vacations.
That's
last week. Oh, I was about to say, I remember it's like the LPGA.
I forgot to put in
when I searched
where they're at today or this week. That's right.
It's the Drive On Championship. That's what it is. The LPGA. It's a Donald Ross. They're playing Bradenton Country Club. So with that, my pick, I'm taking the number 1 women's golfer in the Rolex World's Golf Rankings.
I'm gonna be so upset
Lily
if she does good for you, and she did so bad for me like this past weekend. Yeah,
I know she did last week.
I'm going. I think they said his hometown.
Wow,
Lexi Thompson.
Yeah,
familiar
fan favorite
region.
was Lexi.
I've got another top 5 pick in the world, Rooning In.
And then what was Mitchell? He said,
I didn't even.
We're going to start penalizing him for not being here.
For not being on.
Boudier, the defending champion.
I don't know. So I just put something in.
So that's our picks for the LPGA tournament. Also, in the next few weeks, we're going to be you can check our Instagram. We're going to be letting you know on our stories and stuff, keep you updated. But the Moon Golf Invitational is coming, and there's some big women's college teams in that. Auburn, Alabama, a lot of big names are in it. It's down in Florida, and you can believe your boys are going to be there next year. We said that about this year, but we had some things come up. But they're about to be going on, and that's put on by Moon Golf, and she does such an incredible job with that. She lets the girls come into their store down there, and each girl gets like a gift card and gets to go shopping.
Yeah, just to go shopping.
Yeah, which is super cool. And so we're going to be keeping you updated with that on our Instagram story. Go check it out because it's a big tournament. It's big for Moon Golf. I would love next year to go down a day early and take one of the girls, maybe an Auburn girl, and in her practice round, see if we can play with her in her practice round.
Oh, yeah, and just have her mic'd up talking what she's thinking. Even if we're not playing.
I know one person that will be there doing that this year.
That'd be really neat.
Jonah from Moon Golf. He said he's going to play in it. Yeah.
Oh, he's going down? That's going to be cool. So that's going on. We'll be keeping you all up to date with that. Real quick, we'll tell you what's going on here with BSG, what we got coming up. We scheduled a new video today. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we got part 1 of BSG versus the Kid coming out this coming Monday. That'll be followed by part 2 the next. Then after that, the RTJ. We went down to play the Senator. But the boys got it on the calendar now, March. We're heading back down to PCB.
For
revenge. Jay kind of just bullied me and Zach around in that cold weather last time.
That was awful. That's why we pushed it back. Yeah. It was last weekend last year.
Oh,
so early in January, and it was awful. I think it's got to be the most miserable round we've played.
The only thing I enjoyed from that round was Jay's company because Jay's really cool, and then that buffalo chicken quesadilla I got after the round.
Yeah,
that thing was good.
Food was phenomenal.
So we're going to be heading back down in March to play him. We're going to take some extra people because 2 was not enough against Jay.
We need the 4-man.
Yeah. Jay, one of the coolest, if you need to go watch that video, one of the coolest ball flights, how just barely off the ground and then starts rising. He says because of too much spin, it's not a good thing. But I was like, Jay, that looks so cool. So we're going to have that going on back down to Panama City to play that. So make sure you're checking that out. Somebody put us in a drop zone. I like that. Let's hit them with the drop zone question. If you want a PGA Tour event, while still in college, we kind of talked about this earlier. Would you turn pro or finish school first?
Oh, he said yes. He said yes.
John, go ahead, Brady. What would you do?
No, it depends. For me, I think it depends on your livelihood.
Oh, yeah.
Am I on the edge? Do I need the scholarship for housing and practice? Or am I where I'm at now where if I quit work, and do I lose everything? It depends. If I come from a well-off family, give me the money.
Yeah, because say you won an event, you don't get that money, obviously, like that's the big thing. You get your PGA Tour card, but if you don't have the money to start traveling to these events and getting put up,
that's right.
then that card does nothing for you.
It's like Q school. It's like some of the guys are sleeping in their cars, and some have backing. If you have backing, it doesn't matter. But if times are tight,
I think even
give
with
me the money.
Even if you've got the staff, like the clubs and everything, you've got people supporting you there, and like you win an event. If it were me and I won an event as like a sophomore, like Nick just did, I think which he's won a lot more college stuff, like he's or amateur stuff, like the USAM and all that stuff. If it was just like one win for me, I think I would definitely stay and try to chase a little bit more, like stuff in college, NCAA related. Just try to get your name in the history books, honestly. And because if you're playing that good, I think you've got plenty of time to make that money down the road.
Well, what if that PGA card says only 2024 season?
Yeah, like, I mean, if you can win it once, you can win it twice.
I don't. There's a lot of people trying to get in on Q School that can't get it twice.
But they didn't win. They're not the first amateur to win on tour in 30 years. So he's better than a lot of the guys there.
Wesley Bryan, he had his tour card and he couldn't get it back. He went through Q School and he couldn't get that thing back. So I don't know.
I don't think Wesley's the player Nick is.
Oh, we need a little match right here. Let's set up some YouTube drama.
They probably already had it. Wesley didn't make the cut this weekend.
I think if I got the tour card, I would take the chance. Because college, you still got eligibility. You can come back. You just have to announce your pro. You'd have to denounce and go back amateur status.
I don't think in college you can go back and forth.
Oh. Well, shoot.
It's one or the other. 2 years That's why when you go to the draft, you're there, whether you get picked or not.
Well, you tell college it was a fun 2 years. I'm chasing my dream, baby. If not, you see me at working at McDonald's later or something. I don't know. Or hustling money for people at the pro shop trying to play a game.
Yeah.
I just think if you're that good, which for us it's like, oh, obviously if I'm that good, I'm going pro. But if there's so many people that are that good at his level, so it's not like the same thing. Because he could easily get beat the next week in a college event after he just beat a bunch of pros. He'd be terrible next week. So,
that's like Sam Bennett. Last year he was low amateur at the Masters, and then the rest of the season he couldn't hardly make the cut.
Yeah. With that, I'm going pro, though. I'm taking my chance.
I feel that.
Not every day. You get that
Give me the money. I'm running.
Give me the money. Anybody got anything else for this episode?
Yeah, I don't.
That's it for me. Dad duty calls.
Dad duty calls. Go do that thing. We'll see y'all for episode 86. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel. We're on the road to 1,000. If you're not already subscribed, completely free. Just sign up with a Gmail on YouTube and help us out. Multiple. Yeah, we need it. We're trying to get to 1,000. Appreciate y'all guys. See y'all next time.